Libra, this is March 2020 reading for you. So if you're Libra, Sun, Rising or Moon, it's a general reading, but it might resonate for you. If you enjoy it, please do go ahead, drop me a like and a comment. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And if you'd like to connect with me, you can find more ways to do that over on my website, which is romywyser.com. Okay, Libra, it is Pisces season and we're still in Mercury retrograde right through until the 10th. Mercury retrograde in Pisces at the moment and then dipping into Aquarius between the 4th and the 9th. So it is 6th house for you. So we have the opportunity for some really deep dive evaluation on how you take care of yourself. I feel like you are going to be making some agreements with yourself. These agreements for me almost like laying the law down on how you are going to take care of yourself, what you need to do to implement to support your well-being, your balance. I love this coming out for you, card of justice linked to your sign Libra. And I think that you're being quite direct about that. There's a no-nonsense sort of focus that comes through, but I also have quite a zen kind of peaceful vibe around you. You know, we have Venus moving into Taurus on the 5th of the month, which is your 8th house of death and transformation, and then this really beautiful full moon in the sign of Virgo happening on the 9th, which is your 12th house of healing, of endings, of transformation. So a lot of deeper subconscious work taking place, and I think in that time of reevaluation through retrograde, you are coming to this really beautiful point of harmonization with yourself. I really like this for you as we open up the March energies. And you know, in comparison to some of the other signs that I've been reading for March, you do have a much more kind of chilled energy that comes through, which I hope will play out in really positive ways for many of you. It's just like I don't see you sweating the small stuff so much this month because you've been through what you have, and there's just this moment of just like, okay, like it's cool, I'm just going to do me right now. I just need to focus on the agreements I'm making with myself, and you go do your stuff, and then, you know, then we'll figure out whether this is something that's going to work. And I think that kind of attitude where it's almost like you're not up in anybody's business right now, you're just doing your own thing, is going to serve you really well to refocus you where you need to. 9 of Pentacles coming out, again, this very direct, forward-facing, very kind of almost stoic, committed. You know, you're just committing this month, but I feel like what you're committing to is yourself. You're committing to your ideas, to your vision, to your determination to do things differently, to think differently. I think that you are starting to come to the conclusion of, I know I know it all. Now what I mean by that is that there's not any like lightning bulb moments that are coming through in March. I think a lot of that took place in the last few weeks and months for you, but what you're coming to in this period is the, okay, I know that I haven't maybe been fully committed to always like walking my talk or always implementing or always following through with that. But this is the time when you're actually saying, do you know what, I'm gonna do it this month. I'm actually gonna do it, and I see you doing it. I see you applying so much of the wisdom, the methodology, the mindset stuff, and you know, it is that real quality of being picky. Like that's what they're coming through with. It's like your pickiness and your focus on your own attitude and energy this month is where you're going to start to see things shift and rebalance in a really strong way. You know, this is a time of accomplishment. This is a time of you being very reliant on yourself. You're not asking anything of anyone this month. Okay, Queen of Swords energy coming through, again, could be you or another air sign, a Gemini or Aquarius. But again, even though we're in Pisces season, this very watery, and again in retrograde, which can feel, you know, quite illusionary and kind of intense and a little bit destabilizing, I have you coming forward, Libra, as like feeling absolutely focused, absolutely committed to the detail. I think what you're going to find is that this month of March is helping to bring things to your attention where, not that you've been lazy, I don't get that, but it's almost that you've just not had the opportunity to really deal with something. But now I see you kind of uncovering, what is behind every door that you've kind of said, I'll get to that. March is the month when you're like, no, I'm dealing with it now. I need to get rid of this. It needs to get out of my way because I've got more important things to focus on. And I think that sense of clarity and that sense of almost like detaching from any sort of emotional energy, and that could well make a difference with anybody who's trying to come to your door with anything that's too heavy or too intense or too, kind of victim mentality. I just don't think you really have the time or energy for it. It's not that I'm seeing you not being compassionate. I don't think that. I just think you're like, you know what, you need to go focus on what's around you and what your stuff is right now, because I have work to do here. And it's important, because if you want the best of me, if you want to see what I can deliver, if you want to see the potential, you have to let me do that. You have to let me do my thing. So 2 of Wands, the reprioritization that's coming in, the planning that's taking place, the choices and decisions that you are coming to. And I do see like this really profound shift through the month of March, Libra, which could have quite an impact for some of you in terms of what you're doing. That you may have something coming up that was unexpected that causes you the opportunity to really think that there's another way. There could be a choice that surfaces that is much more appealing than anything you've been considering right now, and that may impact on relationships. It may impact on those of you looking at job or work situations, or even homes, and where you are making those major life decisions. When we come into Aries season on the 20th, and it's equinox as well, major moment of rebalancing and change coming in. It is in your 7th house. It's in your house of relationships. So both personal and professional are going to be under the spotlight there. And I think that you will be weighing things up, but from a very grounded perspective. I think the 3 of Swords coming through is important because it's almost like you getting to the root cause. It's getting to the root cause of what's really important and what really matters. And it has in this reading got a very clinical feel to it. So I'm not going to say that this is the heart-wrenching heartbreak situation that you may have experienced through some of 2019, Libra. For me, with this Queen of Swords, with the 9 of Pentacles, it's this energy of like, okay, let's really unearth everything that we haven't yet dealt with. Let's just lay it out on the table. Let's put it all out on the operating table. Let's see where we're bleeding out so that we can stop that and we can start to heal and we can start to move on. And I have this just really very kind of practical, very no nonsense sort of approach to that. Now, of course, that full moon in Virgo, very healing. It is in your 12th house, so it is bringing that beautiful energy to come in and help with any wound that has been perhaps the Achilles heel, it stopped you from being able to move forward, or, has been the one thing that's kind of held you back because maybe there was some expectation or some thinking that a situation may turn out differently. But I see March, you've got open eyes. You're absolutely going, this is what my reality looks like. I'm going to make the best of it. And based on what is in front of me, it's not that you're dismissing that kind of ability for the miracles and the manifestation to come in, but I do think that there's an elimination of that wishful thinking to put your power anywhere else. So it's not like you're not going to wait around for the person to make up their mind if you're worthy or good enough. You're not going to wait around if somebody's not giving you a clear answer around a job or an investment opportunity. You're not going to wait around if a client can't decide if they want to work with you. You're not going to wait around if somebody is haggling too much on a house move. This is the time when you're just saying, do you know what, like, you're in or you're out. So that's going to serve you well, because I think you're going to start to see progress moving at a much faster pace. When Mercury moves direct on the 16th, into Pisces, that line of communication opening up very strongly for you as well, and helping you to come to a final moment, a final choice about a direction. Do you know, Libra, I feel like March is going to be one of those seasons where I think there's going to be one, at most two things that you're going to be putting your full energy and weight behind. And I think everything else is going to get put to the side as you say, this is what matters. And I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. And if it's a relationship, or if it's, you know, something to do with your own self-development, your spiritual journey, what you're doing in your work or your career, it's just like it's going to get the whole of you. It's going to get the whole of you. In order to do that, there's a sense of rebirth, a liberation that needs to happen. And I think that, again, there's that sort of truth talk that you have with yourself that says, you know, is this my dream, or have I been following the path of what somebody else expected of me or wanted for me, or even a path that I set for myself a long time ago that just doesn't work for me anymore. So you're just being so honest with yourself in this month of March, and I really salute you for that, Libra. I think it's going to bring about such a healthy energy with people around you. You're just not going to tolerate anything other than that. There is a time for forgiveness as well, but I feel the forgiveness is toward yourself so that you can fully focus forward, you know. So if something hasn't worked out, or you haven't seen the fruits of your labor in an area of your life, I can see you just drawing a line and being able to be really kind of matter of fact in a way that, and just say, you know what, okay, we start again, we start over. This is a month of the do-over. This is the time when it doesn't really matter what happened up to this point, because we are where we are and it is what it is. And I kind of just have that sort of vibe coming from you. So 3 of Wands is helping you to just show up for yourself, to lay it out, to look at a new vision. You will start to see communication coming through that is far more favorable and supportive of your endeavors. So I think once you get really clear and make those agreements with yourself, and then you lay that out, you are going to start to see the energy coming towards you in a way that perhaps you have been hoping for a long time but haven't yet seen sight of. I think many of you are going to be feeling quite optimistic about some of the opportunity that is going to be presented to you. I think you're up for it. You're just ready for it. You're more energized than you have felt for a long time. I think physically there does seem to be some renewal coming through. And I think that, again, that 6th house work that you're going to be doing through Pisces season is really important. So you need to take care and listen into what the body's telling you, because how you nourish yourself, how you exercise, how you take care of your well-being is going to matter, because you're going to need that endurance. You're going to need that real peak conditioning to take on what's coming next. And what's coming next feels exciting and liberating and exhilarating, but you are being asked and reminded by Spirit that, you know, you have to make sure your tank is full, you know. So there's an elimination of anyone or anything that is not going to work for you and not going to light you up and allow your energy to be boosted, you know. There may well be some challenge from those around you that are trying to suggest that your ideas, your vision, or the choices that you've come to are not right for you. They're not the right thing for you. And this may come from people who are very well-meaning. It may come from people who are trying to suggest that they know best for you. But honestly, Libra, I think that the agreements that you make with yourself need to be very personal, okay? I know we're in relationship season with 7th house when we hit Aries later in March, but I think that you have to stand strong and be firm, knowing what is right for you. And so you might come up against a bit of opposition to that, okay? King of Swords coming through, so it could be you or another air sign, Aquarius or Gemini, but I feel whoever is representative of this, I think you are going to have to try to it's not that you need to prove yourself. I don't think that you do. I just think that you need to remain really assertive and really strong and focused about what matters, okay? And not really acquiescing or not dumbing down or dimming down anything that you have to say or that you believe in or that you want to put forward, okay? King of Swords, again, though, is asking you to be picky, right? Asking you to get really into the detail of things. I mean, you have both King and Queen of Swords, so the air energy is really strong this month of March, which I think is wonderful for you. It's going to work really well. It's going to work in your favor. And of course, Saturn moving out of Capricorn, a major shift astrologically on the 22nd, and moving into Aquarius just for a few months before it dips back into Capricorn again. But in Aquarius, it's going to be activating your 5th house. Of course, in that air sign, it wants us to think differently. It wants us to do things differently. And your 5th house, we are covering, you know, that romantic part of your life. So again, linking into relationships. So, you know, how can you start to think differently to attract better, healthier connections, right? Also, we have that emphasis around your creative expression, and I think through retrograde you're starting to get some really wonderful new ideas coming in, Libra. And this is about the strategy, you know, King, Queen of Swords, amazing strategists to work with. So if you are trying to lay out a new vision, a new plan for your work or your business, people are really going to be listening to you because your ideas are sound, they're strong, and they have real potential. I think what you're going to be unearthing in this month of March is your potential, and then attaching it to the things that matter to you. So remember, 1 or 2 big things you're going to be prioritizing. And then once you kind of start to pull all those energies together, this is where we start to see a real breakthrough. And in a way, that 3 of Swords for me is almost like your breakthrough. You know, this is you breaking free with that judgment of that old version of you, a complete rebirth happening, allowing that 12th house full moon Virgo to just illuminate and then close out and bring the release, so that you can absolutely move in a new direction that's really healthy for yourself. Okay, so your oracle card coming through is strategy. Okay, fantastic. So red fox, and you know, if you think about a fox, it's the wiseness, they're cunning, they are, you know, absolutely using that discernment, and there's this ability for you to just almost cut through any of that Neptunian Piscean energy at the start of the month. Use it to your advantage, you know, using it for a time of evaluation, for a time of inspiration, but then quickly turning that into something really meaningful and laying out this new life plan, this new business plan, this new relationship plan. And I think that's really going to work for you. What I feel is that through the month of March, you're finding a system and a structure, remember 6th house, that is going to work for you. And that will mean making some adjustments and changes, which isn't always easy, because remember, we have to realize where, you know, something has been really unhealthy and we've held on to it for too long, whether it be a person or just an attachment, or, you know, something that we've been doing in our life. But when you get to that point, I see you finding new solutions. So card of boundaries coming through. This came up for another sign this month as well. And again, it's showing that actually you're going to be able to find a way forward through this thinking, right? Through this new mindset. You don't have to go the long, convoluted way. There's a shortcut, and you're going to find it. And I think that, again, that fox is really helping you to do that. You know, it's like, think smarter, Libra. You know, if you've been coming up against a closed door over and over and over again, if you felt trapped or hemmed in, like, how can you reframe this? How can you change it? What do you need to do differently? You're absolutely getting the illumination of that coming in, and it is going to start to deliver like a whole new picture of what's possible for you. This is where you get to see a new vantage point of everything that you've been working on, and actually just how close it is. You have been hemmed in so that it's not been fully visible to you. That has helped you and served you in many ways, because the contrast has brought out a little bit of a determination and a fighting spirit, you know, to make sure that you want more for yourself and you see more for yourself. But it's your willingness to kind of think about your life plan in a new way through this month of March that I think is so important. So take any of that kind of zen chill time that comes in, because what comes to you is going to be really fruitful and really to your advantage. I hope that's helped give you some insight for this month of March, Libra. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull some cards for the extended reading. With the extended, we're just going to go a little bit deeper into some of the messages that have come through. What I'd like you to do just for a moment is think about a specific question that you may have, Libra, and we will cover this in the extended, and I'm just going to pull a couple of cards on that very specific question for you. Okay. You can find the link for the extended reading in the description box below. Okay, so we'll cover that question in the extended, and I'm going to go ahead and pull some clarifying cards now for your main reading here. For some of you, there may well be some contracts coming through as well, something to sign. I think that you are well poised to be in a position that is going to end up being far more favorable to you than it might appear initially. So don't sell yourself short, and I would say push a bit harder if that is something that you are dealing with, Libra. Okay, Ace of Wands with Justice, beautiful. Nine of Wands, yeah, don't give up, persevere with something. Your perseverance is going to pay off actually in all aspects, you know, particularly as well, I think, for those of you that from a relationship perspective have maybe been going through the mill a little bit, you know. This is set to see High Priestess, okay. A turnaround situation for you, but you know, you are being strongly guided and being asked to think very carefully and very clearly about what you do and say next. Okay, the Moon card coming through. So both the Moon and High Priestess, deeply intuitive energies. Could be a Pisces that you're also dealing with. Okay, Queen of Swords, Ten of Cups. Nice. Six of Wands, lovely. Two of Wands, Nine of Pentacles again. You've got some really bold, bright energies coming in March, Libra. Okay, let's look at this Three of Swords. Queen of Wands, okay. Is that a specific person that you've had some issues with? Fire sign perhaps, could be male or female. King of Cups. So my King of Cups has been showing up in almost every reading this month. Such a powerful message about how we work with the emotional landscape, we work with the emotional energies, but we don't lose focus, that we stay very committed. And there's an intensity that's coming through with him every time he comes out, because I think the message is so strongly about reminding ourselves of how far we've come, you know, and allowing ourselves to change and giving ourselves permission to step into this new energy. King of Swords coming up again on the Empress card here. Okay, Seven of Swords with Three of Wands. Some of you may well be making plans on the quiet, and I think that's fine. You know, you might feel you just need to kind of keep things to yourself a little bit before you're ready to share them out. Knight of Swords, okay. Could also be somebody that has caused a little bit of deception, or you've got a bit of a trust issue with. Three of Wands coming through. Some beautiful fire energy as well coming in. So you are going to feel more energized. Five of Pentacles. Choices to be made, Libra. Page of Cups with that King of Swords, okay. Ten of Pentacles, could be a family matter going on as well. Knight of Pentacles with that Fox energy. Temperance card with boundaries, lovely. And the card of the Chariot, beautiful. Okay, we're going to go into these cards in a bit more detail in the extended. Otherwise, I'd like to say thank you so much for tuning into the channel. If you've enjoyed it, please do drop me a like or comment. Make sure you're subscribed. I look forward to touching base with you next month. And yeah, otherwise I'll join you on the extended shortly. Take good care. Bye for now.